The stars looked different now. Hyunwoo Kim stood at the window of his command ship, staring at the empty space where Earth should have been. 3 months ago, his home world had burned. 3 months ago, the aliens had come with their massive ships and turned every human city into ash. "Commander Kim," a voice called behind him. "We have the daily reports." Hyunwoo turned around. Na-young Park walked toward him, holding a datapad. Her face looked tired. Everyone looked tired these days. Sleep did not come easy when you knew your entire world was gone. "How many ships do we have left?" Hyunwoo asked. 47, Na-young said. "We lost 2 more yesterday. Engine failures. The crews are doing their best, but we don't have enough spare parts." Hyunwoo nodded. 47 ships. Each one carried about 200 people. Less than 10,000 humans left in his small fleet. He knew there were other human groups scattered across the galaxy, but not many. The aliens had been very thorough. "Any word from the other survivor groups?" he asked. "Taemin picked up some signals," Na-young said. "There's a group near the Centauri sector, maybe 3,000 people. Another group was spotted near the mining colonies, but we lost contact with them." Hyunwoo walked to his command chair and sat down. The bridge was quiet. Most of his crew worked without talking much. What was there to say? Their families were dead. Their friends were dead. Their entire civilization was gone. The aliens called it the human problem. They said humans were too aggressive, too violent, too dangerous. They said the galaxy would be peaceful without humans. So they came with their big ships and their powerful weapons, and they solved their problem. Except humans were still alive. Not many, but some. The aliens seemed to think the survivors would just give up and die. They were wrong. "Commander," Taemin Lee called from his station. "I'm getting something strange on the communications array." "What kind of strange?" Hyunwoo asked. Taemin frowned at his screen. "It's not exactly a message, more like an echo. From the human settlements." "An echo?" "Yes, sir. Like they're all saying the same thing at the same time, but I can't make out the words." Hyunwoo stood up and walked over to Taemin's station. The young man was one of the best communication specialists in the fleet. If he said something was strange, it probably was. "Show me," Hyunwoo said. Taemin pressed some buttons and a low sound filled the bridge. It was barely audible, like a whisper in the distance, but there was something about it that made everyone stop what they were doing and listen. "How long has this been going on?" Hyunwoo asked. "About a week," Taemin said. "But it's getting stronger." Na-young came over to listen. "It sounds like singing. Very quiet singing." "That's what I thought too," Taemin said. "But look at this." He showed them a wave pattern on his screen. "This signal is coming from 17 different locations, all at the same time. All with the exact same pattern." Hyunwoo stared at the screen. 17 locations meant 17 different human groups, scattered across thousands of light years. There was no way they could coordinate something like this. It was impossible. "Maybe it's some kind of equipment malfunction," Na-young suggested. "No," Taemin said. "I've checked everything 3 times. This is real." While they talked, something else was happening across the galaxy. In a small mining colony on Kepler 442b, a human named Dong-hyun Choi was having the strangest dreams. He dreamed about people he had never met. A woman with short black hair working on a damaged engine. A man standing on a ship's bridge looking at stars. Children playing in the corridors of a space station. All of them were human. All of them felt familiar, like old friends. Dong-hyun woke up in his small room and rubbed his eyes. The dreams had been getting stronger every night. And stranger. Still, when he talked to other people in the colony, they were having similar dreams. "I dreamed about a woman named Na-young," said Yoon Ji-yoon, the colony's doctor. "She was working with some kind of quantum equipment. I could see her hands moving like I was watching through her eyes." "I dreamed about a communications officer," said another colonist. "Asian guy, maybe Korean. He was listening to signals from space." Dong-hyun felt a chill run down his spine. He had dreamed about the same people. How was that possible? Back on Hyun-woo's ship, the strange signal was getting stronger. Now it was clear enough that they could make out individual voices, hundreds of them, maybe thousands, all speaking in unison. "We remember," the voices said. "We remember Earth. We remember home." Na-young grabbed Hyun-woo's arm. "Commander, I think I know what this is. Tell me." "Quantum entanglement," she said. "But not with particles. With consciousness." Hyun-woo stared at her. "That's impossible." "A lot of impossible things have been happening lately," Na-young said. "Think about it. Every human who survived. The attack has one thing in common. We all lost everything. We all felt the same grief, the same pain at the same time. So maybe that shared experience created a connection. Maybe human consciousness is more flexible than we thought. Maybe extreme trauma can link minds across space." Before Hyun-woo could respond, Taemin called out from his station. "Commander, I'm getting a direct communication from the Galactic Council." "Put it through," Hyun-woo said. The main screen activated, showing the face of a Zephyrian counselor. The alien's blue skin and large eyes had once seemed exotic to humans. Now they just looked like the face of an enemy. "Human survivors, the AO," alien said. "We are aware of your continued existence. We offer you one final chance to surrender. Report to the nearest council station for processing." "Processing?" Hyun-woo asked. "Relocation to a supervised colony world. You will be provided with basic necessities, but your movements will be restricted. This is a generous offer, considering your species' history of violence." Hyun-woo felt anger rising in his chest, but when he spoke, his voice was calm. "And if we refuse? Then you will be hunted down and eliminated. The galaxy has no place for human aggression." The transmission ended. The bridge was silent for a long moment. "Sir," Taemin said quietly. "The signal from the other human groups. It just got a lot stronger." This time the voices were clear. Thousands of human voices, speaking as one. "We refuse." But the strange thing was, Hyun-woo had not given that answer yet. Somehow humans across the galaxy had responded before he could even open his mouth. Na-young looked at him with wide eyes. "Commander, I don't think we're just individual ships anymore." Outside the ship's windows, the stars looked the same as always. But something had changed. Something the aliens would soon discover they had made a terrible mistake about. Humans did not grieve quietly. And when they grieved together, they became something the galaxy had never seen before. The mourning period was over. Now came something else entirely. The dreams were getting stronger. Dong-hyun Choi woke up at exactly 3:47 a.m., the same time as every other human in his mining colony. He sat up in bed, breathing hard. In his dream, he had been on a ship, looking at star charts he had never seen before. But somehow he understood every symbol on those charts. Down the hall, Yoon Ji-yoon was also awake. She had dreamed about medical procedures she had never learned, using equipment she had never seen. But in the dream, her hands had moved with perfect skill, like she had done these operations 1,000 times. "This is getting scary," Yoonji said when she met Dong-hyun in the colony's main corridor. Other colonists were already there, all looking confused and tired. "I dreamed I was flying a ship," said Kyung-ho Shin, their best pilot. "But it wasn't like any ship I know. It was huge, and I was controlling it along with dozens of other pilots. We moved together like we were dancing." Dong-hyun looked around at the other faces. Everyone was nodding. They were all having similar dreams now. Dreams about other humans, other places, other skills. "We need to talk about this," Dong-hyun said. "All of us, right now." Meanwhile, on Hyun-woo's command ship, Na-young Park was working through the night. She had set up every piece of quantum measurement equipment she could find. The readings were impossible, but they were also consistent. "Taemin," she called to the communications officer. "Can you patch me into the colony networks? I need to run some tests." "Sure," Taemin said. "But you should know the signal strength between human settlements has increased by 400% in the last 6 hours. Na-young stared at her screen. 400%? "Yes." And it's not random. The signals are synchronized perfectly. Every human group is transmitting at exactly the same frequency. Nayoung felt a chill run down her spine. She had studied quantum physics for 15 years, but what she was seeing now broke every rule she knew. Taemin, I need you to send a message to all human settlements. Tell them to perform a simple test. At exactly 12 Con GMT, everyone should think of the number 7. Just focus on that number for 10 seconds. Okay, Taemin said. That's a weird test, but I'll send it. 2 hours later, the results came back. Every human settlement had reported the same thing. At exactly 12 Agu GMT, everyone had thought of the number 7. Even the people who never received the message. This is impossible, Nayoung whispered. No, Hyunwoo said, walking up behind her. This is what's keeping us alive. He had been listening to reports from across the galaxy. Human settlements were working together in ways that made no sense. A mining colony on one planet had solved an engineering problem by using techniques that colonists on another planet had figured out the night before. A group of refugees had repaired their ship using knowledge that came from a mechanic 3 star systems away. The aliens think we're broken, Hyunwoo said. They think losing Earth would make us weak. But it did the opposite. Nayoung looked at her data again. Hyunwoo, I think human grief created something new. Our brains are quantum computers. When we all felt the same terrible loss at the same time, it created entanglement on a massive scale. In simple words, please. We're becoming connected. All of us. Like a giant network made of human minds. Before Hyunwoo could respond, Taemin called out urgently, Commander, I'm getting reports from the outer colonies. Something big is happening. On the screen, they could see transmission logs from 17 different human settlements. All of them had sent the same message at the same time. We see the ships coming. What ships? Hyunwoo asked. The answer came 30 minutes later. Long-range sensors picked up a Galactic Council fleet heading toward human settlements in the Kepler sector. 12 warships, armed with planet-killer weapons. But here was the strange part. The human settlements already knew they were coming. They had started evacuating before the ships were detected by any sensors. How did they know? Taemin asked. Nayoung was staring at her quantum readings. The network activity had spiked right before the fleet was detected. They felt it, she said quietly. The network is getting stronger. It's letting humans share more than just thoughts. They're sharing instincts, reflexes, even intuition. On the mining colony, Dong-hyun was helping coordinate the evacuation. He had never been a leader before, but somehow he knew exactly what to do. His hands moved over the control panels like he had operated them for years. When he needed to make decisions, answers came to him from somewhere else. Loading Bay 3 is ready, Kyung-ho reported. The pilot was moving with incredible precision, guiding ships through complex maneuvers that should have required years of training. Medical supplies are secured, Yoonji added. She was organizing the evacuation with the skill of a military commander, even though she was just a colony doctor. None of them questioned where this knowledge came from. It felt natural, like remembering something they had always known. The evacuation took 4 hours. Every human settlement in the Kepler sector was empty by the time the Council fleet arrived. The aliens found nothing but empty buildings and cold equipment. Where did they go? The fleet commander asked his sensors officer. Unknown, sir. There are no ship signatures, no energy trails. It's like they just vanished. But the humans had not vanished. They had moved to coordinates that no single human mind could have calculated. The network had processed millions of variables, fuel levels, ship capabilities, safe hiding spots, alien patrol routes, and found the perfect solution. Back on Hyunwoo's ship, the crew was watching the alien fleet search empty colonies. They have no idea what we've become, Hyunwoo said. Nayoung was studying the network data from the evacuation. Hyunwoo, look at this. During the evacuation, the network processed more information than the most advanced computer systems. And it did it instantly, across thousands of light years. What does that mean? It means we're not just connected anymore. We're evolving. The network is making us smarter, faster, more capable. Every human who joins it adds to the total processing power. Taman looked up from his station. Commander, I'm getting reports from all over the galaxy. Human settlements are coordinating activities that should be impossible. They're sharing resources, knowledge, even memories. And the aliens? Hyunwoo asked. They don't understand what's happening. Their intelligence reports say humans are acting unnaturally coordinated. They think it's some kind of new technology. Hyunwoo smiled grimly. Let them think that. The longer they underestimate us, the stronger we get. That night, every human in the galaxy had the same dream. They dreamed of Earth, burning and broken. But in the dream, the planet was not destroyed. Instead, it was scattered across the stars, living in the hearts and minds of its children. When they woke up, they all knew the same thing. The mourning period was over. The network was complete. Now humanity would show the galaxy what they had created when they tried to destroy the human spirit. The aliens thought they had solved the human problem. They had no idea they had created something far worse. A human solution. 6 months after Earth's destruction, something extraordinary happened. Every human in the galaxy woke up at the same moment, and for the first time, they all saw through each other's eyes. Hyunwoo stood on his command bridge, but he could also feel himself working in a mining station with Dong-hyun, treating patients with Yoonji, and piloting ships with Kyung-ho. He was one person, but he was also everyone. Na-young, he said, and his voice came out of speakers across the galaxy as thousands of other humans spoke the same words at the same time. What have we become? Na-young was analyzing the network from 17 different locations simultaneously. Her consciousness stretched across space, processing data through thousands of human minds. We're still human, she said, her voice echoing from every human settlement. But we're also something new. We're connected completely now. Every human thought, every human skill, every human memory. We share it all. The change had happened overnight. The network that started with grief and dreams had grown into something incredible. Now humans could access the knowledge of their entire species instantly. A farmer on one world could perform surgery because he shared the mind of a doctor on another world. A child could solve complex equations because she was connected to scientists across the galaxy. But they were still individuals too. Hyunwoo was still himself with his own personality and memories, but now he was also part of something larger, a human consciousness that spanned the stars. We need to test this, Hyunwoo said. We need to see what we can do. The test came, sooner than expected. The Galactic Council had grown worried about the human situation. Their report said humans were acting strangely, coordinating in impossible ways. So they sent their largest fleet, 300 warships, to find and eliminate every human settlement. The fleet was commanded by Admiral Vextar, a veteran warrior from the hegemony. He had fought in a dozen wars and never lost a battle. He was confident this would be easy. Humans are emotional creatures, he told his officers. They will panic when they see our fleet. They will make mistakes. We will finish what we started. But when the fleet reached the first human settlement, they found something impossible. The settlement was gone. Not destroyed. Gone. Every building, every ship, every piece of equipment had been moved. In 6 hours, an entire colony had vanished without leaving a trace. How is this possible? Admiral Vextar demanded. Unknown, sir, his sensor officer replied. There are no energy signatures, no ship trails. It's like they knew we were coming and prepared for weeks. They had known. Through the network, every human had felt the fleet's approach days before any sensor could detect it. They had moved with perfect coordination, each settlement knowing exactly where to go to avoid the alien ships. But more than that, they had moved resources and people in ways that defied physics. Ships that should have taken days to travel between systems appeared in hours. Equipment that should have required massive cargo vessels was transported in small shuttles. The network had found solutions that individual human minds could never have imagined. Find them, Admiral Vextar ordered. Search every system in this sector. The fleet spent 3 weeks searching. They found nothing. Every time they thought, they had located humans. They arrived to find empty space. It was like chasing shadows. What they didn't know was that humans were watching them constantly. Through the network, every human could see through the eyes of scouts positioned throughout the galaxy. They knew where every alien ship was, where it was going, and what it planned to do. "They're getting frustrated," Taemin reported from a dozen different locations. He was monitoring alien communications across the galaxy. His consciousness spread through every human listening post. "Good," Hyunwoo replied. "Let them get frustrated. The angrier they get, the more mistakes they'll make." But the real test came when Admiral Vextar decided to try a new strategy. Instead of chasing humans, he would force them to come to him. His fleet surrounded the planet Kepler 438b, where a small human research station was located. "Surrender now," he broadcast, "or we will destroy this planet and everyone on it." The research station had only 50 humans. In the old days, they would have been helpless against 300 warships. But these were not the old days. "Admiral," one of his officers said nervously, "we're detecting some unusual readings." "What kind of readings?" "Ship signatures, sir. A lot of them." Admiral Vextar looked at his screens and felt his blood turn cold. Ships were appearing around his fleet. Not just a few ships, hundreds of them. They materialized out of empty space, like ghosts becoming solid. But the truly terrifying thing was how they moved. Every human ship moved in perfect synchronization, like they were parts of a single organism. They turned together, accelerated together, positioned themselves with mathematical precision. "How many ships?" Admiral Vextar asked quietly. 800 and counting, sir. They're still appearing." "That's impossible. Intelligence reports said humans had less than 200 ships total." What Admiral Vextar didn't understand was that the network had changed everything. Humans could now coordinate construction projects across dozens of worlds instantly. They could share technical knowledge that turned miners into engineers and farmers into shipbuilders. In 6 months, they had built a fleet using the combined resources and knowledge of their entire species. "Open a channel," Admiral Vextar ordered. The main screen showed a human face, Hyunwoo Kim. But when he spoke, his voice came from every human ship simultaneously. "Admiral," Hyunwoo said, "you wanted to talk to humans. Now you're talking to all of us." Admiral Vextar stared at the screen. The human's eyes were calm, but there was something behind them that made the veteran warrior feel afraid for the first time in his career. "Surrender your fleet," Hyunwoo continued, his voice echoing from 800 ships, "and withdraw from human space." "Human space?" Admiral Vextar laughed, though it sounded forced. "Humans have no space. You are refugees, scattered survivors. Look around you, Admiral." Vextar looked at his tactical display. Human ships surrounded his fleet completely. They had appeared in a perfect sphere formation with his 300 warships trapped in the center. The precision was inhuman. No, he corrected himself. It was perfectly human. But it was human in a way that no individual human could achieve. "This is impossible," he whispered. "Many impossible things have happened since you destroyed our world," Hyunwoo said. "Would you like to see another one?" The human ships began to move. All of them at the same time, in patterns so complex that Admiral Vextar's tactical computer couldn't predict them. They wove between his ships like they were dancing, never colliding, never interfering with each other. It was like watching a school of fish, but with spacecraft. "Admiral," his weapons officer said, "they're not targeting us. They're just moving." "I can see that," Vextar snapped. "What are they doing?" The answer came from his communications officer. "Sir, we're receiving reports from across the galaxy. Human ships are appearing over every major world simultaneously." Vextar felt his heart stop. "Every major world?" "Yes, sir. Hegemony Prime, Council Central, Zephyrian Homeworld, the Trade Nexus, all of them. Thousands of human ships, all moving, in the same coordinated patterns." On the main screen, Hyunwoo smiled. "We told you we were connected, Admiral. When you threaten one human settlement, you threaten all of us. When you bring your fleet to our space, we bring our fleet to yours." Across the galaxy, the same scene was playing out above every major alien world. Human ships appeared in massive formations, moving with perfect coordination. They didn't attack, didn't threaten. They just appeared, like a reminder of what humans had become. On Hegemony Prime, citizens looked up at the sky and saw human ships moving in patterns that hurt to watch. Too precise, too coordinated, too perfect. The psychological effect was devastating. How do you fight an enemy that can appear anywhere, anytime in perfect formation? On Council Central, emergency sessions were called. The leaders who had ordered Earth's destruction now faced something they had never imagined. Humans who moved like a single organism but thought like a civilization. "We created this," one counselor said quietly. "We tried to destroy them, and we made them into something worse." Back at Kepler 438b, Admiral Vextar was receiving panicked reports from across the galaxy. Admiral Hegemony Command is ordering all fleets to return to defend the homeworld. Council Central is declaring a state of emergency. The Zephyrian Defense Fleet is requesting immediate reinforcement. Hyunwoo's image was still on the screen, watching calmly as the alien empire realized what it was facing. "You have a choice, Admiral," Hyunwoo said. "You can try to fight us and learn what a truly coordinated species can do when it decides to stop being patient, or you can listen to what we have to say." Admiral Vextar looked at his tactical display. His 300 ships were still surrounded by 800 human vessels. Across the galaxy, thousands more human ships had appeared over alien worlds. The humans had demonstrated something impossible. They could coordinate military actions across the entire galaxy simultaneously. "Want it? Do you want?" he asked quietly. "To talk," Hyunwoo said. "We'll meet you at the neutral zone in 72 hours. Come alone, Admiral. Bring representatives from the Council. It's time to discuss new terms for coexistence." The human ships began to disappear, vanishing as suddenly as they had arrived. Within minutes, the space around Kepler 438b was empty, except for the alien fleet. But the message was clear. Humans could appear anywhere, anytime, in any numbers. The galaxy had changed, and the old rules no longer applied. 3 days later, Admiral Vextar sat across from Hyunwoo Kim in a conference room on the neutral station Harmony Point. But Vextar knew he wasn't really talking to just one human. Behind Hyunwoo's eyes, he could sense the presence of the entire human species. "You're all here, aren't you?" Vextar said. "Every human in the galaxy." "We are," Hyunwoo replied. "We speak with one voice now, but we think with millions of minds. We are individual and collective, separate and connected." Counselor Prime Zethran of the Galactic Council leaned forward. "What you've become. It's unnatural. Dangerous." "Dangerous?" Hyunwoo asked. "We appeared over your worlds with enough ships to destroy your civilizations. We could have ended this war in minutes. Instead, we asked for a meeting. How is that dangerous?" "Because you're no longer human," Zethran said. "You're something else. Something that shouldn't exist." Na-Young's voice came from speakers around the room. She was participating in the meeting from her laboratory ship, but her presence felt as real as if she were sitting at the table. "We are exactly what you made us," she said. "You destroyed our world, scattered our people, tried to break our spirit. But human grief is not weakness, Counselor. Human grief is the force that binds us together across impossible distances." "You tried to eliminate the human problem," Hyunwoo continued. "Instead, you created something new. A species that shares knowledge instantly, coordinates perfectly, and remembers everything." Admiral Vextar spoke quietly. "What do you want from us?" "Coexistence," Hyunwoo said. "We don't want revenge, Admiral. Revenge would mean becoming like you, willing to destroy entire worlds to solve problems. We want something better." "Which is?" "Recognition, respect, the right to exist without being hunted, the right to rebuild our civilization in our own way." Counselor Zethran shook his head. "The galaxy will never accept what you've become. Other species will see you as a threat." "Then help them understand," Hyunwoo said. "Help them see that we're still human, still capable of compassion and mercy. We could have destroyed your fleets, but we didn't. We could have conquered your worlds, but we won't. And if we refuse? Admiral Vextar asked. The room was quiet for a long moment. When Hyunwoo spoke again, his voice carried the weight of billions of human minds. Then you'll learn what it means to face a species that truly works as one. You've seen what we can do when we're being peaceful, Admiral. Do you really want to find out what we can do when we're not? The negotiations took 18 hours. In the end, the Galactic Council agreed to recognize human territorial claims and cease all military actions against human settlements. In return, humans agreed to limit their expansion and provide advance notice of their activities to prevent misunderstandings. But everyone in that room knew the real truth. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted forever. Humans were no longer scattered survivors. They were a force that could appear anywhere, coordinate any action, and respond to threats with impossible precision. As the meeting ended, Admiral Vextar asked one final question. Will you ever go back to being normal humans? Hyunwoo smiled. We are normal humans, Admiral. This is what humans become when you give us a reason to work together completely. We're still individuals. I'm still me. Na Young is still herself. Every human in the galaxy is still who they were. But we're also more than that now. We're what happens when human love and human grief combine across the stars, Na Young added. We're what you created when you tried to destroy us. The meeting ended, and the representatives returned to their ships. But the real change had already begun. Across the galaxy, human settlements started the work of rebuilding their civilization. Children played games that spanned multiple worlds, their laughter shared instantly across light years. Scientists solved problems by combining the knowledge of their entire species. Artists created works that expressed the experiences of billions of minds. The aliens watched the sky and remembered the day it had filled with human ships. They remembered the perfect coordination, the impossible precision, the demonstration of power so overwhelming that it achieved peace through strength rather than destruction. Humanity had lost their world, but they had gained something else. Unity, beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. They were still human, but they were human in a new way, a way that made them both beautiful and terrifying. The stars looked different now, but not because Earth was gone. They looked different because humanity had scattered itself across them, connected by bonds stronger than space and time. The mourning period was over. The age of connected humanity had begun.